What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dan Maper Project. The hiatus is over, hopefully. September was just not my month, but we're back, and I'm hoping I keep it rolling now till the end of the year. Hopefully I can do a couple double week episodes or something and try to catch up with my goal of putting out 52 by the end of the year. This episode is with Jesse Butler. I've known Jesse for a long time and was really excited to sit down and talk with him. He's got a fight coming up November 15th. That's a Friday in Bossier City, Louisiana at the Horseshoe. It's a title fight, so it's a big one for him and his family and everybody involved. So if you can, get out there and support him. I'm really hoping I can be there myself. Yeah, me and Jesse I got to pick his brain big time about what inspired him to start fighting and what inspires him to continue to pursue fighting, and some of his interactions with professional fighters and just things like that. And kind of towards the end, we kind of go into me and tell my story as to why I started the podcast and how I've ended up here and sort of my goals moving forward. So you can enjoy that. Pretty sure right in the middle of this, there's a gigantic dog in the background barking really loudly. So enjoy that. Sorry. We were in Jesse's backyard, and it was a really nice day. And so we soaked up the cool weather that doesn't usually happen here in Louisiana. But I'm just going to shut up, let it roll, and y'all be sure to support Jesse. Peace. I always forget this. If you want to support me in this podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could just share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. If you're watching on YouTube and you don't get to finish it, I am on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you want some stickers of my little logo, I got stickers. Hit me up on Instagram at dan.mabry. If you want tickets to this fight, follow Jesse on Instagram. I'll put his Instagram up here and in the description as well. And if you like this podcast, I got a bunch more, so feel free to check them out as well. All right, this is it for sure. So, we'll talk about it. We'll just jump right into it. Jesse Butler. Been trying to make this happen for a couple weeks, but we finally made it happen.
I'm busy.
While we got everybody's attention, you got a fight coming up.
Yeah.
Tell them when it is, where it is.
November 15th, I'm fighting at the Horseshoe.
Okay.
This will be my third fight for this organization. It's for the title now. I was supposed to fight this opponent last year this time, and we both weighed in. Everything was good at weigh-ins, and the next day we're heading to the venue, and I get a call. I see the fight promoter name on my phone. I'm like, probably something for the fight.
Yeah.
I answer it, and hey, your opponent's he's got food poisoning. He's in bed right now. They're saying he may get up and feel a little better later.
Yeah.
We're not real sure right now. This is probably 3:00. My head, I'm just like, this can't be true. He's got to fight. He's already here. He's from Houston. So my brother and my girlfriend Hannah's with me at the time, but I was pissed.
Yeah.
Of course I want to fight. So we get there, nothing's really said. It was kind of just played off like, y'all aren't fighting now. This is what happened. And I see him. He comes up to me and tells me that he got food poisoning. And he's not that type of fighter. He's had, I think, 12 pro fights now. So he doesn't have a record of doing stuff like that. I think it really happened. But now we're getting to fight this year. So I'm super excited about it.
And you're at 10 fights? 11 fights?
Yeah. I'm 7-3.
Yeah.
10 pro fights now.
Yeah, I watched your last fight from a couple months ago on YouTube earlier today.
Oh, cool. The last one at the Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The second round chokeout.
Yeah.
It was really cool to watch you work and you started out strong and established that leg kick real early. That was nice.
I love the low leg kick,
man.
Yeah.
Sounded like another guy was commentating that fight, Quentin Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was his voice.
Yeah.
Which sounds like he's kind of getting into more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Matt Schnell was on there too. He's
okay.
in the UFC.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Close with Matt.
Okay. I guess when did you start fighting? When did MMA come in your life?
Yeah.
I know you were a baseball guy in high school.
I played baseball at a small private school and had no clue what I wanted to do coming out of high school, but I was gonna go play college baseball at some small school away from home, and I didn't want to move away, so I decided to stay home. And I was like, I gotta find something to do. Started training at Evolution, just a small MMA school at the time, and just learned how to get in there and train hard, fight every day. So I started literally right after high school, and I had 16 amateur fights. Had 16 amateur fights, had a kickboxing fight, a small boxing fight, and still I really didn't know how to train until just now. I'm just now learning how to put this stuff together. You think I guess you always think but you learn more. So then you're like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's the coolest part about it to me.
For sure. I guess 16 amateur fights, that kind of sounds like a lot to me. Is that a lot in the amateur game?
Yeah, you don't see many amateurs have more than 10 amateur fights. So I was just taking as many fights as I could get, any weight class. I was wanting short notice fights. I
guess what kind of time frame was that in?
Man, I fought I would probably fight 7 times in a year or so. Just for 1 year, say I fought maybe 7 times. So
right.
There were some months where I'd fight back to back. Just that's how it would work out. You would get a call and be like, heck yeah, I can't turn this down.
Right. Just to keep progressing, getting that experience.
And that's what I feel like has got me this far. I had a lot of fights, so most everybody I fight, I've had more fights than. But there's some guys now that's not the case with it being this many pro fights.
Yeah. Well, and obviously the sport has grown tremendously from the time that you got into it to now, and I'm sure there's all kinds of people that
Dude, it's scary.
have a no experience to incredible amount of experience.
It's scary to watch. You see these guys, and if I'm to go watch fights from the UFC from say 2005, I'd watch those fights and be like, my technique's probably better than almost all these guys.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. Like most of these kids have been training their whole life, so they're coming from overseas now and they're getting brought into the UFC. So you see these Russians like the Khabib monsters, his whole clan, they're just now starting to trickle in there, and you're seeing all these Magomedovs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's scary.
No doubt. Well, and just to watch those guys train and to see the way they interact with like his dad or whatever is a coach, like just obviously you can't understand what they're saying, but just to watch them interact is like a scary scene almost.
Yeah. That's all. It's like they're direct. This is all they know. This is all they want to know.
Yeah. So I guess did you change gyms at some point or?
Yeah. I had moved off. I lived in South Florida for a little while. I was at American Top Team. Came back home, and that's when I started training with Blunchy. So I've been with Krone Gracie now for 3.5 years, almost 4 years. Yeah, coming up on 4 years. So.
And how long has Blunchy been around Monroe, West Monroe?
He's been here a long time. He probably had his first gym here in the mid-90s, maybe.
Okay.
So he got his black belt through someone else, and then he got his black belt again through Krone. He met Krone when Krone was young. He kind of came up through Krone. As Krone got older, he learned a lot from him. So John took that role, and we're going to be Krone Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Let us open up a gym here, and that's how that happened. So the stars aligned.
For sure. It sounds like it. Yeah. That's and obviously the Gracies carry a lot of weight in the fight game.
Yes.
And it's whenever I recognized that that name was here
Yeah,
of all
yeah.
places, like
Yeah.
it definitely grabs my attention.
Yeah, and Krone's coming up now through the ranks, so that's cool to see with him being in the UFC now. He's
For
fighting
sure.
this weekend, this Saturday night. So,
Yeah.
man,
Who's he fighting?
he's fighting Cub Swanson.
Okay. I guess I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with him.
Veteran.
Yeah.
Veteran. Cub grew up in the UFC pretty much. He's had a rocky road these last few fights, but he's older now, man. I don't know how old he is, but he's up in his 30s. He's had probably 40 pro fights. Veteran, yeah. He trains with TJ Dillashaw and them, kind of that mix out in California.
All right. So you're 27?
Yeah, 27.
And so you've been in for maybe 10 years now?
Yeah, almost 10 years, 9 years.
Do you see yourself like fighting guys your age or older than you? Or
Yeah. When I was an amateur, everybody was older than me.
Yeah.
You know, I was 18, 19 years old, but it's a mix, yeah. You got guys in there that are in their 30s still wanting to do this or trying to do this, and then I think the younger guys are scarier. You know, you have an 18-year-old that's a pro. He's been doing this his whole life, so he's a veteran in there, you know.
Maybe a little wilder, a little less, a little more reckless maybe sometimes.
And that's what it takes sometimes to get a win. Like, it's not pretty in there.
Yeah. Well, and that we talked about Quentin Henry. Quentin Henry's last bare knuckle fight.
Yeah.
Like I looked at the dude that he was fighting, and I was like, "There's no way Quentin loses this match."
Right.
But then
I
started
swinging.
Well, yeah, I started thinking about it, and I was like, "Wait, this is just like a bare knuckle boxing match. So this dude still has a puncher's chance, like regardless of what happens."
That's scary.
And yeah, they were brawling for sure, and Quentin got knocked down a couple times, but it was still an awesome fight.
Yeah.
I guess like. You seem like you started out most of your fights like from more of a jiu-jitsu standpoint and not necessarily a striking standpoint, and I guess you've more evolved into more of a striker now, but can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be the self-defense aspect first. Like, I don't want to get hit. I'm going to try to get as least as possible. Thankfully, I haven't taken that much damage yet in many fights, so always defending myself first. But yeah, my striking's starting to feel more comfortable. So it's the last fight, you spoke on that. The first round, I wanted to stand, feel comfortable the whole time, and it did. I felt great. So that was one reason I shot the takedown. Was like, we're standing up banging, I can shoot now and land this takedown, and that's why everything worked out the way it did in that fight, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you established that leg kick, and it looked like you damaged him pretty good, and he was switching stances. And you definitely got him off his game.
That was
really
nice, yeah.
But you definitely got him off his game, and I guess that opens up other opportunities. To
absolutely.
To change it up.
Yeah.
I guess, like, what is the driving factor behind continuing to go?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel it now more than ever. Like, I guess you just learn how to have that. You know, the drive's not always going to be there. I wake up some mornings, I don't want to go train.
Yeah.
So my drive now is higher than ever, even though I say that. So I don't know. You got to figure it out in your head, just how to put that work in every day, just tirelessly. It's a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is the end goal the UFC?
Yeah, sure. I definitely want to have. I want to have the biggest fight I can have, whether it's in the UFC, Bellator, however that works.
Yeah.
This is what I've chosen to do at this point. Like,
right.
I'm all in on trying to make it at this point. So, yeah I want to be in the UFC.
Yeah. But you do have a job?
Yeah, I have a job.
And I guess like you're not living off of fighting.
Will not pay my bills.
Yeah.
I like to live as nice as I can. I want to have a nice vehicle. I want to have nice things. So,
for sure.
I have a job. I'm a salesman.
Yeah.
I sell shower remodels. So my coach is Jonathan Brantley.
Okay.
He's a black belt under John. He's a black belt under Krone.
Gotcha.
He owns Tubbs by Grubs.
Okay.
And that's how I got that job, and that is freaking awesome.
So I guess that gives you a little more leeway to go to California for a couple weeks. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know how that all worked out.
That's a weird situation. Everybody's always like, "What do you do? How do you work?" And train three times a day, but that's how it's done. It's a busy day every day, and I like that though, man. I want to be busy.
Yeah.
I don't want to. If I'm able to sit down for 30 minutes and watch a sports talk show or something, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So I like being busy.
Yeah. So you mentioned training multiple times a day. Is that like fight camp or is that like year round?
Year round, I train usually twice a day, whether it's a run or a workout, weights in the morning, and then I do jiu-jitsu at night. But when I'm in fight camp, it's just a little more structured. That is in Monday morning, we're going to spar. Tuesday night, we got, the schedule and scheduled out a little better. Got to get that sparring in when I'm in camp. When I'm not in camp, I don't have to spar as much. I can do my mitt work and my bag work, but not have to spar as much.
Yeah. So I've taken one jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah. You told me about it.
In Shreveport, and absolutely fell in love with it. Dislocated my shoulder in the process, so that's kind of kept me from going back. Yeah. But I've gotten a lot stronger since then. So I'm getting more comfortable with it. Yeah. But I can definitely, I guess I can't say I've never, because I've been in street fights myself. Yeah. But like, you get in that fight or flight situation. You got some dude laying on top of you, and you don't want him on top of you. But I guess, and I didn't think about it in the moment, but you reflect on how things go later on, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. Right. And like
you don't realize how helpless you are until you're in that situation.
And I'm like doing hip escapes and stuff, and like these guys that I'm rolling with are like, dude, like you're doing good, like you got good hips, and I heard that like 4 times that night, and I was like, you never taken a jiu-jitsu class before? It was like, that was like the biggest compliment ever,
Like, I've been secretly doing this.
Yeah. I was like, no, man, I just watched UFC on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I hadn't been forced to push myself to that like cardio level before in a long time, since playing soccer in high school and stuff. And you get that high, if you will, afterwards. Sure. And I can definitely see where it's addicting, to keep rolling and to keep perfecting it and learning.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the, like, going on a long run, doing a long boxing class, something like that. The high you get from it after, it lasts all day until you go to sleep. So I just like reflect on my training all day, and I pick at it now. I find things I can pick out and fix. So that's cool, man. It's
you do a lot of like visualization stuff.
Yeah. I watch a lot of film, just random film all day. I'll just click different videos, and I have found that helps me a ton. I'll do this stuff in class that I saw, and I'm like, I just piece that together. And so I do a lot of visual work now. That's something newer. When I was an amateur, even early in my pro career, I couldn't even go that far in my head, as far as training and watching film like that. So that's one of the biggest advantages, now.
Well, and I'm sure, obviously, you learn more with experience, but you get in certain situations, and I guess you can see, hey, I can go this way, or I can go that way, or if they go this way, I go that way, that kind of deal.
It gets to where it's subconscious, so you're not even, there's not a thought there. It happens, you're like, I thought of that last week in training, now I just did it without thinking about it. So that's when the stuff starts clicking, and that's how you got to watch class. There are people who come into jiu-jitsu class to learn and try to figure something out. There are people who are in there just to relax and have fun. So everybody on the mat is watching something different through their own vision, and that's, I guess it always changes though,
Yeah.
It always changes.
So
for everybody.
I guess we mentioned you going to California and you got to spend some time with Krone, I guess, or in Krone's gym.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've gone out there a couple times this year, maybe 4 or 5 times this year. That's been a blessing, man. When I come back from there, it's like I have 3 months worth of training in my back pocket on the way home. That's what I feel like. So it's getting the sparring rounds in with him and the jiu-jitsu, hanging around him and seeing how he lives day to day. That helps me a lot. So
yeah, so Krone has this video from Vice on YouTube.
Yeah. Which one?
It really talked about his diet and like the way he
vegan diet.
Yeah, and he just only eats like a little bit just to keep him going, and then he like refuels at night.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you kind of practice that, or?
Yeah, I've kind of adopted it. Yeah. After I knew he did it that way, and I've seen people do that way before, and John kind of eats that way too. You have to learn how to figure out, how to eat like that. It's hard, but it does pay off in the training, eating those little increments all day, eat a big meal at night, and just eat everything that's earth grown.
Yeah.
You know, I eat clean. You know,
Yeah.
I enjoy eating clean though.
For sure.
When I eat bad, I had Johnny's Pizza last night.
Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home. That's
Yeah.
the last time I'm having it for 6 weeks. So
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I guess I see you're getting some cauliflower here going.
Yeah.
Is that from more sparring, or is that from?
This one started when I was an amateur, so I've had this one early, but it actually helps. Once they're numb and they're like this, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I never thought about it being numb.
Yeah, so they just hematoma up, and you can drain fluid out of them in the beginning.
Yeah.
After that, they'll harden up, and they get to where they're just rock solid. I mean, you can get new ones like added on, but
yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess obviously you wanna keep pursuing this as long as you can.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you see yourself like? I guess pursuing, obviously I think you can do jiu-jitsu for your entire life, but
Sure.
you can't get punched in the head your whole life.
Yeah.
So I mean, you want to like start your own gym, or is that an idea in your head?
I'm
or?
not really that into coaching.
Yeah.
I don't like coaching. I like going in and helping with the kids or helping with somebody who wants to fight, but I'm not real big into coaching or anything. I didn't grow up in a martial arts environment or anything,
Right.
so I was in it for fighting. I found jiu-jitsu. That's kind of how I look at it. So I wanted to be a fighter, and I found jiu-jitsu along the way. So that's been the biggest blessing. I can do jiu-jitsu for the rest of my life, yeah.
What do you think you say you wanted to be a fighter? Like, where did you think that came from?
I have no idea.
Because I don't know that you never really had a reputation
when I was
for fighting.
Like in high school,
Yeah.
I was a little kid. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to fight, or I didn't have an aggression, but I always thought like, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could watch something and be like, I can do that, I can figure that out. So I don't know. It's not that I never wanted to fight or anything like that. I just chose that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Just kind of the next challenge in your life too.
I remember my first class, dude. I went in. My first night was sparring at an MMA school, and I got smoked, man. Leg kicked over and over. And I remember going home and being like, that was terrible.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a thought of like, I'm going to go back or I'm not going to go back. I just kept going. So, I don't know, man. That's a good question. I have that question all the time.
Yeah. I know you've done jiu-jitsu competitions and stuff like that. Is that something you continue to see pursuing?
I enjoy the jiu-jitsu competition. It helps with dialing myself in mentally for fights. So it kind of keeps me on a consistent basis, getting ready for my fight when they're close to the fight, or when I don't have a fight soon, I can do some of those tournaments and it keep me going. Yeah,
I can see how I could keep your competitive spirit going without necessarily getting all the rocked in the head and that kind of stuff. A question that I thought about is like, obviously you're kind of limited to your partners, like your training partners.
Yeah.
Do you change training partners to the people that you're fighting, or do you try to get them to adapt to that person's style, or?
Yeah. Haven't really tried to adapt anybody to a style. We just kind of know what they're going to do when we play off of that. But, I have my training partners at the jiu-jitsu school. I box around here at some of the boxing schools, so I get some work in with those boxers. And when I go out to Krone's, I get work with a lot of guys. So it's constantly getting switched up, and I've gotten more sparring in the past 2 years than I have my whole life. So, we don't really try to implement or be any sort of person. We just know where the fight's going to go in a way.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess most of the people that are fighting, you have film on, or you can find film on?
It's getting easier to see film, whereas used to it was a little harder to find film. If you don't find film on a guy, it's kind of like you're a little more nervous. But,
right.
One of my amateur fights, me and my brother, so we would look up these guys and try to find them.
Yeah.
We couldn't find this guy. He had just like a basic normal name you wouldn't think anything of. Couldn't find film on him. Didn't have Facebook, didn't have an Instagram. We're like, does this guy even exist? We get there, and he's tatted up from the stomach to his head, and he's huge. I had maybe like 10 amateur fights at the time. I mean, I was hot-headed at the time still, but That was funny. I
Yeah.
thought that was funny. He showed you never know what to expect.
Right. How'd that end up for you?
My 16-second knockout.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad too, because he may have beat me. I don't know.
Yeah.
he was big.
That's a sure relief,
Yeah.
I'm sure,
Yeah,
to see that, just the visual of that kind of person.
Yeah, it was funny. I'll have to show you the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess who do you train with here? Obviously, there's a bunch of people at the school, and
yeah.
it seems
So
like
we've got John Blunchy, which is my instructor. He's the black belt under Krone. Jonathan Brantley, which is my boss, and he's a black belt under Krone. So those are our 2 black belts at our school. Dylan Fraley, he fights. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know
He'd
who
be
he
interesting
is.
for you to have on the podcast. He's got a cool story. He just turned pro. He's 1-1 as a pro. I think he was 9-0 as an amateur. Trained with him.
Is he a little smaller guy?
We're in the same weight class.
Okay.
He's a little bit shorter than me, a little bit thicker. He's a stud.
What weight class are y'all in?
45.
Okay.
Yeah, 145. I had a lot of my amateur fights at 155. I was a little bigger back then. I didn't do as much cardio. My training now is more cardio, just because I know a little more about the body, which John does all our cardio stuff, so that's huge.
Yeah.
So I walk around a little smaller than I used to when I was younger, and the weight cut's still brutal for me to get to 145, but that's my weight class for sure. I have a size advantage over guys at 145.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was my next question, is the weight cut.
Yeah.
That's still, I mean, obviously maybe not a struggle for you. You're kind of used to it at this point, but what is that like for you?
You learn, just like fighting, each time you do it, you level up one. So you learn how to do it. It's pretty much trial and error. Like, anybody can tell you what to do for a weight cut, but everybody's body reacts different to every type of food. So it's tough, man. I cut like 20, 15 pounds, so which most everybody does. It's not a big deal. And a lot of it's water weight. So it sucks. You get 24 hours until the fight, so it's just part of it.
Yeah.
You learn.
Is that, obviously you're trying to wean that to where you're not like losing 10 pounds the night before.
Yeah. I'll cut it down. The last few weeks I'm eating a lot leaner just to get some extra weight off, which will help, that's when you're the hungriest at the end of camp. But yeah, you want to get as low as you can. The more water you cut, the worse it is for sure.
Yeah. I know you were a hunter for a long time.
Yeah.
You still get to do that?
I don't hunt. If somebody asks, I got some friends that go, they'll bring me. Some family members, I'll still go shoot one. I need the meat.
Yeah.
If anybody's giving away any deer, holler at me. I'll get them processed. But I bass fish. You know? That's like the one thing I get to do. If I'm like, okay, I got a Sunday here, I'm not gonna train. I'm gonna go fishing all day, and that's relief.
Yeah.
But a lot of the days I want to train. So it's like, okay, I got work today, and I'm gonna train twice a day. That's pretty much my day every day. So I would love to fish a couple times a week, but no, man, I want to train every day.
Yeah. And you're training early in the morning, yeah?
Yeah, we train at 6:30. I get done like 8. Some days I'll go in later, depending on my work schedule, and then we train at night.
But there's like I see Chris Barron tagging in there.
Dude, he tags in at like 4:30.
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah.
Savage. The early morning hurts me.
Yeah. But like there's people up there at that time.
Dude, yeah. They're busy in the morning. John's up there super early waiting on everybody to get there. Crazy. But he doesn't work out until a little bit later. I don't like working out early. Do you? Do you get up early?
Yeah, like for my job, I pretty much wake up at 5:30 every day anyway.
Oh, okay.
So I've just now really gotten back into working out hard and running long distances.
Yeah.
Man, you know David Goggins.
Savage.
Yeah, so like I got his audio book and listened to it in 24 hours. Like I got totally obsessed with it.
His Instagram's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I like the short clips. If I can get a minute of him talking.
Yeah, every Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a soccer player for 10 years and did cross country and stuff in middle school before that. So I guess it had always been in my blood to some degree.
Yeah, yeah.
I have an older brother. He's run like 3 or 4 Ironman
How much
races.
older is he than you?
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the Ironmans?
Ironman is like 5-mile swim, 100-something mile bike ride, and then a marathon
Dude.
run at the end.
Yes.
He's
done 4.
Yeah, I think he's done 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which he hasn't done one in a couple of years, but he's taken off with his career and his family and whatnot. So he's a big hunter now.
Yeah.
Tries to get out in the backcountry as much as possible.
Nice.
But yeah, I've just really I got back riding my bike.
Mm-hmm.
Just forgot how much fun riding a damn bike is.
Yeah.
And you know, I'd done some mountain bike stuff, but it's a little sketchy. You know, a little more easier on the road, and I feel like you can get in that zone where you're just
that cardio zone a little better it's like more relaxing on the road. Yeah.
But what I'm really interested in now is these gravel races.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little mix of off-road, on-road, and it's not necessarily you're going down steep hills and you know, jumps and that kind of stuff, but it's more of a grind.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's where I'm starting to pursue things.
Yeah.
But I ran 3 miles 3 days a week for a month.
Sweet.
And like this past Saturday, I woke up at 5:30. It was like, it's 70 degrees outside. I'm gonna go run as much as I can.
I love running, dude. That's
and
one of my favorite things.
I did 6 miles in 50 minutes, and it was just jacked, man.
Yes,
I was so
dude,
hyped.
How about the runner's high?
Yeah.
All day? Like, it's for real. You have a high the rest of the day if you run distance. For sure.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where I've been at now. I was supposed to go out into the backcountry with one of my friends.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Just things didn't work out. Well, I may tell that story later on, but it was best that I did not go. We'll say that.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I've really been getting into the distance stuff, and I just hadn't worked out in forever, and I have a little weight bench at my house, and started getting back doing that, and you know,
it feels so good,
man. I just like looked down at my arm the other day, and I was like, oh god, I have a vein. Like, whoa.
Yeah, it does feel good.
Well, and then like, you know, Facebook memories pop up. So in college, I was a frat boy, and literally just lived for the next party, the next hangout with my friends, the next beer I was gonna drink, and I wasn't like, I definitely did not go as hard as a lot of other people.
Sure.
Like
Some take it to the extreme.
Yeah, like I was not drinking every day, but I was drinking 3 days a week for sure.
Yeah.
And I looked at a picture earlier today, and it was just like, I wasn't fat, but I was just like sloppy kind of.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Yeah. And so now it's cool to see me slimming up and feeling good. And, you know, I saw somebody had a conversation on Facebook, was like, you think you have an injury, like start working out. And it'll kind of correct itself.
Yeah.
And so I've had like a little knee issue for a while, and had tried to run before, and you know, a lot of it I think has to do with diet and stuff too. And
for sure,
it's so I didn't go on this elk hunt that I was supposed to go on in the backcountry to Colorado. Yeah, southern Colorado, and I ended up staying in Dallas and hanging out with some friends, and I was just like, all right, I got this whole week off, like I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want to.
Yeah.
So I drank some beer and ate some pizza, and you know, we cooked every day, and it kind of. But like day 3, I was like,
I gotta do something.
I gotta go run.
Yeah.
I woke up at 6 a.m., ran 2 miles, and like did some burpees, and was like, all right, got the sweat going.
Get that heart rate up, get some sweat.
Did it every day for the next 3 days.
Nice.
It was like I couldn't sit there and do it and just be sloppy.
Consistency is king.
Yeah. So now I am pursuing Sober October.
Oh, nice.
Which again, like I may have 2 or 3 beers a week, you know, on a Friday or Saturday, but it's just.
But it's something for you to say, hey, 30 days, I got this.
Yeah. Well, you know, the more that I thought about it, I started drinking in early high school, and I've never taken a full
Stop.
month off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And like again, like I never deemed myself an alcoholic by any means,
Right.
but it was like I would still enjoy a couple beers a week,
Sure.
and yeah, so that that's been cool to, and like I said, I think going through jiu-jitsu and seeing how much fun I had doing
Yeah.
that, like, yeah, I was getting my ass kicked, but like I
Yeah.
had a smile on my face the whole time and was like, man, this is fun. Like I can see why people do this.
Yeah.
And I took a couple weeks off to let my shoulder get back, and just kind of been going at it ever since.
You need to come. You need to come try a class this week.
Yeah, that'd be
whenever.
super.
Whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a Ghee for you.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I've never done Ghee. I did Nogi.
Okay, it was
so
a Nogi night. We got Nogi on Wednesday nights. Every other class is Ghee on that though. But yeah, dude, you gotta come by.
yeah, that'd be sweet. That'd be sick. I guess what else you got going?
Uh,
I guess that's kind of your life, huh?
That's my life.
Yeah.
My life's fighting right now. I've with my job and my other job. I have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned Dylan Fraley. You
Yeah.
got any other guys that are coming up in any other weight
We
classes?
have a girl.
Yeah.
Tori Land. She has only had 1 amateur fight. She is bad news. We've had several fights lined up for her, but it's just tough getting her fights. She's a monster.
Yeah.
And she just had her first fight with us this past January. So now that she's got some film out on her, it's going to be even harder for her to find an opponent. But she can box. She has good jiu-jitsu. She's just a monster.
Yeah.
She's coming up through us. Other than that, MMA, that's our people. There's not many MMA people in our gym. Our gym is a jiu-jitsu school, and we
Right.
teach self-defense. So the striking end of it and everything else we do is on the side,
Okay.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
We have a big jiu-jitsu school. We need as many people in there as we can get.
Yeah. I know you got Ferris. Ferris in there. Yeah.
Love Ferris.
Yeah.
He just got his purple belt.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's super
Ferris
cool.
is awesome.
And I know, I guess not too long ago, y'all had an event at the Ike.
Yeah.
Were y'all responsible for getting that going here, or
was it at the Hike?
I maybe in a couple years ago or something?
The last ones we've had have been at the ULM Coliseum.
Okay.
We do those. We were doing Western Road Convention Center. It's just a little too small, so the ULM Coliseum has been awesome.
Yeah.
Monroe Civic Center. We had one in the Civic Center and the ULM Coliseum, so both of those. Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously you're working with like a fight promotion there.
Yeah. So Blunchy started putting on his own shows, and he's doing them here locally. So that helps,
Yeah.
I don't fight on every one of his cards, but if I get on one, it does help a lot knowing that he's doing that for everybody here.
Yeah. So he's kind of behind that stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think he's done 4 shows now.
Yeah.
3 or 4 shows.
So that is Guerrilla Fight Promotions.
Yeah, Guerrilla Fight Promotions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's John's.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
And Kylie's at our school. She does kind of all the grunt work for that. She's a purple belt at our school that trains, and she works at the school.
What are you? What's your belt?
I'm a purple belt.
Okay.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu now for about 4 years under John.
Can you explain how you move up in belts? Because that's something that I don't fully understand.
Every school is different. Some schools may do it by check-in. Some schools may do it by where you are. Everything's different. But
What do you mean check-in?
Just like they come in, they sign in, or swipe a key card. Every gym's different.
Okay.
So like so many classes.
Time put in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time put in. At our school, it's kind of just on John and Brantley's on their viewpoint, and you got to test for it. There's like a self-defense system, certain moves that they're gonna do, like gotta put you in a choke from behind, go, boom, do the move. So the higher your belt gets, obviously it's harder. So it gets to that certain point where it's like, okay, if you're gonna get a brown belt, you gotta be able to teach, you gotta be able to help these kids, you gotta be able to do this and that. So for every gym, it's always gonna be different, but that's the weird thing about it, is it's not like a set in stone thing.
It seems like that's almost like the more appropriate way to do it, though. Like your instructor is the one who deems you.
It should be time in, instructor, look at you, you do the move. There's so many things that should go into it, because if a guy's got a black belt on, he's a doctor. He should be at a doctor's level at jiu-jitsu. So that's one way to look at it.
Yeah. That's okay. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good comparison, I guess.
It's hard though, you say a guy's been doing jiu-jitsu for 15 years and he just hasn't caught on. Does he get that belt or does he not get that belt? So that's what's so hard about it. I don't have the answer.
He has the time put in, but his skill level's not necessarily there. Yeah.
I guess at some point, if you've been there long enough and if you do your diligence, you should get that next belt.
Yeah. Obviously, it all depends on your success, but do you see yourself moving on from here and trying to go to another gym, or is that something that you even think about?
The luxury that I've had of going to train with Krone, the time that I see, like I'm able to go there every 2 months, spend a week there, so it's almost enough to where I can box here at certain boxing gyms, get my jiu-jitsu here. This is the best jiu-jitsu I'm going to get. I mean, I could pick any school.
Right.
This is one of the best ones I could get. So that's one huge advantage of it. But yeah, getting out there as much as I can to Krone's gym, that's going to help me.
What's your situation out there? Are you like living in a hotel or?
Usually stay with Krone or usually have an Airbnb.
Yeah.
It's just different at times. Like if he's got a fight coming up, he may want me there, he may not.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll get an Airbnb right by the gym, and I'm just freaking winging it, dude. Like whenever he texts me, calls me, boom, gotta go.
Yeah.
So I love going out there.
So y'all developed a personal relationship as well.
Yeah, that was cool. I guess the first time I went out there and we didn't know each other at that time. I think my eye was like cut up or something. I went to a jiu-jitsu class and like nothing clicked or anything. And then I went out there again and got some stand-up work with him, and we just, after we sparred a couple times, it was just like, dude, what's up?
Yeah.
So it helped out a ton, and yeah, he brings me over, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and he seems to be a pretty humble dude and pretty down to earth from what I can tell. I guess you have any stories from him that you'd like to share? Any interactions?
When I go over there, my day and night is completely flipped upside down. He trains at night because he had 4 fights over in Japan with Ryzen.
Okay.
So he would go over there for the end of his camp, and his day and nights would be backwards.
Yeah.
So he adopted that.
Wow.
When you come back home, it stays on that schedule. So, dude, he stays up till 4 or 5 in the morning. It's crazy training. Like 6-hour training sessions, dude. The craziest thing I've ever seen. I mean, that's all the time.
Yeah.
It is a normal thing. He lives his life like that. So it's awesome out there. Just there's more people working out. It looks better out there. It feels better out there. I love LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess have you ever recognized, or do you recognize that like training here and the heat and humidity like benefits you?
Dude. All right. So we had a fight at the Revelry outside at Ruston.
Really? I guess I missed that one.
I think July.
Oh my God.
I fought a guy who I think he had 30 fights. He's still fighting. His name's Josh Davila. We were sweating in there, obviously. But so here's the thing: it helped me coming from the school I come from, because we don't run AC when we train. We train in the heat, and especially in the Ghee in there, it's 100 degrees. You're sweating in the Ghee.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's an advantage, because in the cage and on an inside fight, you got AC in there. It's cool.
Right.
You're not gonna sweat as much. So yeah, I think it's an advantage. When I go out there and train, much easier. Yeah. Much easier. Here, you're sweating everything out in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And the humidity's been brutal. This week's going to be super nice in the gym.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love this weather.
So yeah, you got this fight coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You obviously have done some homework on this guy before.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
I think he's 8-4 now.
But how long ago were y'all supposed to fight?
Last November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've had
last September.
Has he had a fight since then?
He just had a fight a couple months ago and he lost. Not for this organization, though. It was for an organization in Texas. So yeah, I've done my homework on him for sure. I know all about him at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to fight him.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, it seemed we got the contract to fight like it may have been in July. So like, it's been a long. Normally, it's like you get a fight contract, you're 6 weeks away. Dude, I got this fight contract a couple months ago, so it's been a long process. Now we're 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to actually feel it, like, all right, it's time to go.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that was my question. Like, you announced it last week or whatever, and I didn't know if that was like
yeah.
you just found out about it, or
No, we signed the contract a couple weeks ago.
so you had been planning to go to California and put all the time in.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
As much time as I can get out there, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I guess regardless whether you have something
yeah.
in the works or not.
6 weeks out though is when I start dialing everything in, getting my diet right, getting my plan together on what I'm doing each day. I don't want nothing surprising to come into my day, during that time. So that's cool.
Yeah. Obviously there is some difference between the Ghee and the Nogi, and I guess I mean, what I think about is just like all the Ghee chokes and that kind of stuff, but does any of that stuff translate into the cage whenever you're not wearing a Ghee and it's all free for all?
When you don't wear the Ghee, after wearing the Ghee every day, jiu-jitsu is so much easier. There's nothing to grab onto.
You just take away that advantage.
Yeah, so it carries over for sure. I can't really explain it in a way, but yeah, it carries over a lot. Yeah, I can feel it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
The Ghee's crazy, dude. Still, after 4 years of training the Ghee, it's like, this is still weird. I'm grabbing this guy's collar, and he's got to get out of it. You know? It's a street scenario, so not every time is a guy going to have like a jacket on or something, but everything else pretty much applies. You know? Grab pants, grab this, grab that.
For sure. So obviously you watch Krone. Is there anybody else professional that you look up to or watch pretty often?
I wouldn't say I look up to is like a tricky thing. Like,
Fair
of
enough.
course I look up to him, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in a snobby way, but like I don't look up to him anymore. I have to watch him and figure out how to do this stuff. So, yeah.
I guess you're kind of more prepared to fight him. Like you kind of getting that.
You kind of just do that yourself mentally. Like, okay, if I was going against this guy, I would do this or that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just take something from everything I see now. Whereas used to, I would judge them or be like, oh, I like this guy. It's not like that anymore. It's like, okay, what is he doing? Oh, neat. So I watch as much as I can. Yeah, I know everything about all the fighters.
Yeah. I guess, like, what is your opinion of people like, Conor McGregor and like the Style Bender and like guys that like have big mouths?
I love it. It's something weird to see now that I'm like put myself in those shoes. Like they create this image for the TV. It's freaking awesome that they're able to do that and fight and keep that going. I just can't even, like, if I were sitting here putting on a front like Conor would do. He's not like that all the time. There's no way.
Right.
It's impossible. Like, there's somewhat of an extent that he's like that, but man, that's creative, man. He's an act. Like, those guys that can act and fight, they're helping themselves.
Yeah.
They're getting a paycheck.
I was watching Israel's post-fight conference earlier today.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to have to watch it.
And he's like,
good.
But he was just talking about, like, did you watch the fight?
Yeah, I saw the fight.
And you saw his intro?
Yeah.
Like, he does all this dance and stuff.
That's impressive.
And he's like, I know there's a bunch of you green-eyed people out there who are like, oh, look at this motherfucker doing, dancing. I hope he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And he's like, I showed y'all, like, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is kind of my initial reaction is like, oh, this dude's showing off, like.
Sure.
But
it's like a natural thing to be like, he should lose. He
should
lose.
But he kind of explained it. You don't know where I come from. You don't know my culture. Like dancing is my culture. Like that's what I do, and that's what I enjoy. And I wanted to show it off before I continued to show off.
He's
whatever.
Getting in a fight.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. So and to be at that level, to have that belt and to be competing for another one, you kind of, I feel like you can. Push your weight around and do whatever you want to.
You see a lot of guys now. I don't know if Colby Covington, you know the name?
Yeah, I've heard of his name before.
It was like he was about to get cut from the UFC, and they told him this. They were like, if you don't make this fight interesting, he had a good record. If you don't make this fight interesting, something's going to happen. He completely flipped the way he was. He's got like this image now that he pursues when he's on camera, and it's awesome, like the way he's able to do it. Some people view it as bad because they're just giving their opinion on it, but think a little deeper. Like, this guy's not like that. It's It's like a WWE thing when they're in front of the camera. And it's hard to do.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't imagine.
Everybody knows Conor McGregor's name because he made sure of it.
Yeah.
And there's other guys that walk in the cage that you have no idea who they are, like Krone. I know. I watched Krone's fight.
He hasn't said that much.
Yeah.
He hasn't put that much out there.
Yeah. And as soon as I saw his name pop up, I was hyped because I knew who he was. But I know there's plenty of other people that were like,
dude, I'm so
excited. Is this
excited.
guy related to other Gracies? I'm sure that
There's
question
so
came up.
I'm excited to see him come up, man. Only 5 pro fights now. He had 4 in Japan with Rising. He had his 1 in the UFC on his debut, and then this will be his 6th. So getting that co-main event spot with only 5 fights is awesome, and there's gonna be some hype around him.
Yeah,
we'll see like where it goes. It's gonna be weird how they promote it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You bring up Rising, and like obviously that's like a totally different environment. Like, you're like fighting in a boxing ring, basically.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that, or is all your experience in the cage?
I had a kickboxing fight in a boxing ring. I've fought in a couple bars. Cage was inside of the bar in Baton Rouge. It probably wasn't Baton Rouge. It was like in a small town before Baton Rouge. But I had 2 fights in a bar. Dude, dark as can be in there. Like, I don't know why we were fighting. It was so dark.
Yeah, I mean, is that like you walk in that situation, are you kind of like sketched out, or are you just ready to go?
Yeah. I mean, you're ready to fight, but of course, like, dude, what the heck? But you hear so many guys like Dustin Poirier. He's in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of his fights in places like that coming up. So that's normal down here, whereas somewhere California, somewhere else,
a little more sanctioned.
Yeah. A little more.
Have you had any bad experiences? Like, I mean, obviously you say it's super dark in there, but is there any like
anything weird happened in that fight? Surprisingly, no, nothing too crazy yet. Besides guys backing out, guys pushing you at weigh-ins, that's normal. No, I guess it's all crazy for some people who haven't heard it.
Yeah, getting in a fight's a pretty crazy thing to a lot of people.
That's weird. Scheduling a fight.
Not meeting at the ballpark.
I want to schedule like dinner dates and things like that, right?
For sure. Well, cool, man. I've enjoyed this. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously, best of luck in next month.
It was cool seeing we got connected. I was just like scrolling through Instagram. Somebody may have tagged you and something. I saw the pages. I was like, this is sweet.
Yeah.
This is sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
Explain to me the videos you do for the motocross.
Yeah, so basically my story is, like you, I grew up here most of my life, went to tech and graduated, and so my senior year of high school at West Monroe, I took a video editing class, and then, like I said, I went to tech and I just kind of partied my way through school.
Doing the news at West Monroe?
No, I never got on that.
You were never on the news?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
I would just like, there was a video editing class that you could take, and I'd put together a couple videos that got featured on there as like the intro video or whatever.
Okay.
And I had really fallen in love with it, but then I didn't have the equipment. They used the equipment that the school had.
And back then it was hard to like get that, where do I?
Well, I didn't have any money, and I didn't have a job hardly, and went to school and graduated marketing, and got a job over here in West Monroe, JPS Equipment Rental.
Dude, I worked there.
Okay.
I used to work there.
Yeah, I worked there for exactly a year and a month.
Okay.
And basically told them that I needed some more responsibility, or I really wanted to be an outside sales guy.
Yeah.
My family runs road construction. I've been around heavy equipment my whole life. So
my dad, he's a United Rentals manager.
Okay.
They just bought out JPS, and so they moved into that location.
Okay.
Pointless for everybody else, but
then I basically told them that I wanted more responsibility, or I was going to leave, and they helped me leave. Basically said, where do you want to go?
Yeah.
So I told them Denver, Colorado, and so that's where I went. I sold industrial forklift batteries.
Wow.
Which is exactly as exciting as it sounds.
Wow. Everybody needs those, huh?
Not really. It's actually really unique in the fact that like they're only used in like food service.
Wow. The actual forklift.
Yeah, so like where emissions can't happen at all. And Papa that's got his 80-year-old propane forklift, hell, it still runs good as far as I'm concerned. So he's not going to upgrade anything.
No.
And I wasn't selling forklifts. I was only selling the batteries.
The battery. So how long were you in Colorado?
I was in Colorado for 6 months.
Okay.
About 3 months in, my boss took me to lunch one day, and he said, "You know why I hired you over the other candidates?" And I said, "No." He said, "You were in a fraternity and you're from the South." And I was like,
let's go.
I'm screwed. This is not good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't passionate about it, and I didn't have a whole lot of friends. And about 5 months in, they told me that I had my best month, my 4th month there.
Wow.
And they told me they were getting rid of my entire position. Offered me another job, basically doing inside sales kind of deal like I was doing here. And I was mad. They were taking away the company vehicle that I had and cutting my pay and all that kind of stuff. I was me working more hours. So I told them no, and basically searched for jobs for a month, got depressed, called my dad, told him I needed a job, so came home. And
being away from home is weird. Like, I was away from home for a little while when I was training, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, like, for a certain amount of time, it's good. You always want to come back home, it seems like.
For sure. So, yeah, came back home and was gifted some inheritance that I did not know I had. So I bought a new computer and a camera.
Nice.
And started following my friend John Moeller around. He's a professional motocross guy.
Okay.
And so followed him around East Texas and was just kind of flexing that creative gene that I have and making some videos out of that. And that kind of died down. Like, motocross season kind of died down. You know, winter came on and it's raining every day. And I was like seeking out these events to go to, and I wasn't making things myself. And so, you know, there was
at that point you were like passion, like
yeah,
just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and I'd been listening to Joe Rogan and this other guy
Yeah.
named Kyle Tierman. He's out of Santa Cruz. He's a surfer and environmentalist kind of dude. And I actually messaged him on Instagram one day and was like, "What's your setup?" And he sent me that little recorder.
Nice.
And I was like, "All right, I can afford that. I can do that. I know interesting people," and started doing it that way.
Yeah.
It was something that I had to seek out myself and that I was in control of. And I actually have taken the past month off because I
you have the luxury of that.
Yeah, but you know, it September just wasn't my month for sure.
Yeah.
Things did not go my way September. But anyway, I'd reached out to some people and you get denied or they have to reschedule or whatever. And
always.
it kind of I had to take a break. I wasn't intending on doing it. My goal for this year, I started this basically January 1st, and so that I was going to put out one every week, so that I had 52 at the end of the year. And I made it to like 34.
Yeah.
And kind of had to slow down, but like I said, I pretty much put down in podcast and picked up working out.
Nice.
And so now
you got to juggle them both.
Yeah, now I'm in on both of it. So I'm just more jacked up now than ever. So I haven't really told the viewers this, but I'm actually in the process of like selling my house and gonna pursue the podcast like full time.
Where are you gonna
I'm in a really unique position that I don't have any debt, and the only debt is in my home. And so I am going to try to pursue my dreams. And I don't have a girlfriend or a dog or nothing.
And there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
Right?
So I've had this dream of like van life for a long time.
Yeah.
And the closer that I get to it, actually doing that, I see that I could live out of the back of my truck with a camper shell on it. And
Krone has a camper shell on his truck, and when he'll go around a train, he'll stay in the camper.
Yeah. So do that, crash on people's couches and doing this, putting myself out there. I get people's attention, and I've had multiple people from across the country say, "Hey, man, I support what you're doing," kind of deal. And I got a guy in California, Matthew Boudreaux, who is like a big fan of mine, and he's like, dude, if you find yourself in California, you got a bed, and you probably got a
Sweet.
floor for sure to sleep on. So,
Dude, I would think the camper thing was so. I would think you living out of your truck was so crazy until I've been to LA and seen what it's like out there. Like, so normal.
yeah, yeah, and you know, my truck has some life left in it, and I
Heck
can
yeah.
I can build it out to some degree, and
Yeah.
I love to hike and get out in the woods
I
and
noticed that.
and spend time in the backcountry. So, you know, cooking primitively and that kind of stuff is
Yeah.
not completely foreign to me.
Sweet.
So I pursue the podcast and get whatever photography and videography gigs I can get along the way, and I'll probably end up vlogging the whole thing to where I'm like consistently putting out content and honing my video skills, and I'd try to make it as cinematic as possible and not as corny as a lot of other people.
It's gonna constantly like you'll be able to figure that out as it
goes.
goes.
Like the first one's gonna suck, and I'm aware of that. So actually talking about the podcast with my older brother, he was like, dude, the first couple were kind of lame. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like
it's hard to not make it like interview-ish.
Yeah.
You know, like every question I'm like almost feel like I'm answering.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like you're good at it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
You've done more than me.
For sure. Especially, at least recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at right now, and I realized that I didn't want to do road construction for the rest of my life, and you know, my dad's getting older and he's looking towards retirement, and I'm kind of doing him and myself a disservice by continuing to stay here and pursue that, and I need to go figure out what I want to do and where my niche in life is.
Things are different in the South. You grow up and everything's labor, like something labor related. Well, we don't have to do, like, we figure out we don't have to do that. We can find something else to do and not work all day. That's tricky. Yeah,
well, and especially like working out again, like, you know, you find that zone that you can zone out in, and I feel as if I literally can go to work all day and be physically laborious at work and then go home and work out because I enjoy the working out. And I just like dread going to work every day. Like I said, I'm kind of conditioned to waking up early, but like I almost enjoy it now, just to where like on those days that I'm not going to work, I can get up and put in work.
With the flow.
And have the rest of the day to do whatever I want to. So yeah.
Dan, awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you. And that's the other thing about doing the podcast is, you know, somebody that has 50,000 followers is not going to come on my podcast right now. But if I have 150 episodes, they'll be like, all right, maybe I'll check this guy out.
Incredible.
Yeah. So I just got to, you know, and you
keep
know,
it going, get your name out there.
Yeah, and you know, people know you, and they'll maybe be more interested to look at it and come on or whatever. So, the greatest thing about it to me is I'm so curious about just everything. I mean, gay people, trans people, fighters, firefighters, cops, whatever. I want to see new perspectives on life.
Just hear somebody talk.
And just learn something new. That's the whole goal every time, is to learn something new. And you know, become better out of it in the end. So
sweet.
Well, good luck to you next month, dude. I hope I can make it, honestly.
I'll hook you up.
It's on a Friday, yeah?
It's on a Friday night.
Yeah, so in Shreveport.
Yep.
So
November
check
15th at the Horseshoe. It's a Friday night.
Where can you get tickets?
I'll be posting tickets from here on out.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, on Instagram, Jesse_Butler92, and then on Facebook, Jesse Butler. I post all my stuff on there as far as my schedule and how you can get tickets. So hit me up on there. It's corny to say, please come watch me fight, though. As many people as I can get from West Monroe to come over to the Horseshoe, I'll remember it the rest of my life. I really do. So anybody who comes, it means so much, and it helps a lot.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it, and appreciate you again, man.
Thank you, man.